I'm Dr. Darian Sutton, an emergency medicine physician and professor of the self-made TikTok med school. Let's talk about a case. The patient said that they have been having difficulty walking for about a week, and their main complaint was numbness, tingling, and some weakness in their hands and their feet. When I walked the patient, they walked like this. We call this gait, or the walking pattern, an ataxic gait. During the exam, I got to the diagnosis relatively quickly, but I'm curious to know how you would get there. What questions would you ask? What tests would you do? I'm going to leave you with this for a couple, and then I'm going to come back and give the answer and the diagnosis. 2 to 3 years ago, I was flying on a plane, and I got the call. Flight attendants came on the intercom and asked if there was a doctor on board. I waited a second, and no one answered, so I had to stand up. By the way, this is why I don't drink on planes. The patient, or the person who needed help, was a woman in their 30s who had sudden weakness in one side of their face. So I stood up and went to go talk to her. By the way, the plane at this time was full, and it was incredibly awkward trying to have a personal conversation with someone while everyone's pretending not to listen. A patient got brought in by ambulance for a complaint of chest pain. As I stand in the room talking to him while his wife is standing behind me, peering into his soul, he begins to tell more about his chest pain. He admits that the chest pain is radiating to his back, and he thought that it might have just been simple back pain. For those of you in emergency medicine or hopeful to get into emergency medicine, this is a textbook sign that you need to pay attention to that led me to my next steps, a CAT scan of his chest. And the tech comes out and says, "Doc, you gotta see this." Let me know what you think the diagnosis is, and I'll be back with a part 2.
So we have him here now. Dr. Darian, welcome to our show. First of all, I have so many questions all at the same time. My head is like going to explode. Welcome to our home. I'm Rachael. John's sitting over there. Hopefully we don't need to go to the ER anytime soon. The first thing I have to ask is, I'm fascinated by your life on TikTok, and I love how much interaction you do with people in a format where you would think that there is no way to have interaction with people. You're asking questions and making people think, and you're really trying to make them think about their own health and other people's health and how to deal with emergencies all at the same time, so kudos. But how do you do this? Like, do you have to find every single person, or if you don't mention their names, can you speak with license for them? How does this even work? How do you do this?
Well, thank you so much. That was my first time seeing that clip and all those videos put together, so it's really funny to see that. Honestly, this started years ago when I was in residency, and I'd be walking home after a difficult day in the emergency room and just thinking of ways that I could explain difficult concepts to my friends. And that led to just me sharing on platforms like TikTok, where I can democratize education and help people understand their health. I start with the beginning of the case. I allow people to make guesses and ideas, and then I come back and help them connect the dots. And it's just simply about a case presentation. And many people will involve their own stories, and it's really begun to be like quite a phenomenal experience.
I love that. Democratize our education. You could do that in any area, and I hope more people follow your lead. I am a person, I'm over 50 years old, and I love to learn. So I wish there were more of you in the world on every subject that there is. Can I ask you a very straightforward question? We are still dealing with this pandemic. There are variants that literally cover the Greek alphabet from Delta to Mu now. Would you feel comfortable going to an ER today if you felt that you needed it personally?
I love this question because many patients often ask me, especially when they're coming into the emergency room. My personal perspective is that the ER is quite a safe place. Although, yes, you're likely to be around someone or near someone who might be infected with COVID-19, everyone is wearing masks, and the people taking care of you, the majority of them are vaccinated. So it really creates a safe dynamic. Where I feel more fearful of is walking through public spaces like supermarkets where people may not be following the same guidelines and therefore exposing me. So actually, the ER for me is really safe.